Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting from Fanny Bay here in Darwin, which will be the 16th of November. With 5 races on the card and some 40 acceptors, it promises to be a good afternoon's racing, with some decent fields and some interesting runners among them. The weather forecast looks to be okay for this weekend too, although at this time of the year we are always at the mercy of a thunderstorm or two. Whatever happens, you can bet it will be pretty warm. The first of the 5 races is timed to jump at 2:46 p.m, while the last is scheduled for 5:15 p.m. In the opener, the Tab same race multi-handicap over 1,300 metres. My numbers are 1, 2 and 3. Down the book in the 0 to 64 handicap, number 1 on top for me, 7 Secrets. Trained by Chris Nash. Nash's got a couple of decent chances on the day, I think, and this is definitely one of them. Adam Nichols takes the mount. He rode the horse at its first start in Darwin when it finished second behind Patriotic King last time out. That was only over 1,000 metres, got well out of its ground, ran home solidly. The step up to 1,300 metres will really suit, I think, 7 Secrets, and I've got it on top here. To beat number 2, the last start winner, Envenomate. Good to see Dick Leach back in the winning vein. And Hannah LeBlanc takes the ride this week. Young Jess Booth rode Envenomate when it won last start. But Hannah on this time, that win was on Melbourne Cup Day over 1,100 metres. It'll also appreciate a little bit further distance, although has yet to win at the 1,300. And my third selection, number 3, Sabor, from the stable of Jason Manning. Vanessa Arnott in the saddle. A good third last time out. That was behind Mr. Havachat, who races later in the day. That was in 0 to 70 grade, so it's dropping back in grade here to the 64, and that certainly gives it an undeniable chance here. So in the first, my numbers are 1, 2 and 3. The second is the first of the Ladbrokes Wet Season Series heats. So heat number 1, of course we have 7 heats and a final on Australia Day weekend on the 26th it is, or 25th I think we race. And looking forward to the Wet Season Series, and we've got a good field here to kick off the series, culminating in that $40,000 final. Numbers here are 5, 1 and 4. Star Spangled Dancer for me, trained by Gary Clark. We really put the mockers on Gary on Melbourne Cup Day, didn't we? We tipped him to win maybe a handful of races and he got 0. So we'll just put this one in. I think it's the only one I've got on top for Gary this week. Aaron Sweeney goes back aboard from barrier 2. Last start second was a good effort behind Canada Bay here on the 19th of October. She didn't begin as well as she often can and actually had to come from off the pace, which is not really her mode. But she did hit the line well. Her last 100 metres was probably the best part of her race. So I'm going with her to break through for another win here. Number 5 on top of number 1, Captain George, the stablemate, also trained by Clarkey. Jared Todd's opted to go for Captain George. So take that as you find it. Drawn barrier 1, last start second behind Style and Grace, so dropping back in grade here, and he certainly looks the hardest for his stablemate to beat. And then for third, number 4, Miss Black Diamond. She's really knocking on the door. She's had minor placings all over the place, not only here in Darwin, but also at Kununurra. So she's getting close to a win for the Logan team. Trainer Tom and jockey Sonia, and drops in grade, goes up in trip, which I think will suit. Numbers in the second are 5, 1 and 4. The third's the Roant Trobus Maiden and 3-year-old Class 2 plate. This is the hybrid race over the 1,100 metres. It's for the maidens and also for 3-year-olds up to Class 2. There's only one horse that's won a race in this, and that is number 9, Dancer for Money. All the rest are maidens. Numbers here, 5, 8 and 3. 3 Jacks, number 5, I'm going with here. Chris Pollard trained, Sonia Logan in the saddle. 2 starts in Darwin, 2 good third placings, and didn't get much luck last time out when third behind Houston Star. That was on Melbourne Cup Day. Dropping back in trip, I don't think it'll worry 3 Jacks, sort of races right up on the pace, and looking for it to break through for its first win here. In for second, number 8, Miss Move, a newcomer to Darwin in the Neil Dyer team. Aaron Sweeney for that camp. First up, trialled well on Tuesday. This horse sat back in a 3-horse trial and hit the line well under a minimum of urging from Sweeney. So I thought Miss Move, given it's been placed a couple of times at Grafton from its 7 starts, in fact it's had 3 seconds from 7 starts, Miss Move, would be hard to beat. And then for third, number 3, Ease Offer. Paddy Johnson and Raymond Viger, the combo. This led last time out, finished 4th, just weakened a little bit late behind Houston Star, but should be improved by that run. That was its first run since the 14th of April. So numbers in the third, 5, 8 and 3. The fourth is the Sportsbet handicap. This is our highest rated race of the day. It's a 0 to 76. We have a half a dozen runners to go around here. Good little field. Numbers in this one are 4, 3 and 1. Mr. Have a Chat for me, number 4. Looking to give Chris Nash a double. Sonia Logan aboard. She could be in for a half decent day. Sonia, she's got some really good rides. And Mr. Have a Chat, he was a deserved winner last time out over 1,200 metres. Back to the 1,100 won't worry him. He has won 3 times at this journey. That last effort he beat Changes Coming, ran it down late. His earlier efforts were second placings behind Doc O'Connor and Flying Annie and Storm the Fortress. So some really good form around Mr. Have a Chat. If as long as he can get across from a widest draw of barrier 6 and get some sort of run and transit, he'll be hard to beat. 4 on top to beat number 3, Mr. Cashman. Resumed from an 11-month spell last time out on the 26th of October. Really good run, I thought, on that occasion. He led, just tied up late when his condition gave out to finish 4th. But he was only beaten 3.5 lengths by the smart Bonds Pride. Jared Todd retains the mount. Gary Clark trains, of course. And in for third, number 1, Kerrioth, trained by Dick Leach. Hannah LeBlanc goes on, claims the 2 kilos. Finished last at its last start, but was only beaten 2.7 lengths. That was behind Shack Attack in a pretty smart field. This horse ran in the Palmerston. He'd only have to bring some of that really good sprinting form to be a chance in this event. Numbers in the 4th are 4, 3 and 1. And we go to the last. It's the Sky Racing handicap. It's over the 1,000 metres. So all our racing down the back straight a 1,300, a 12, 2 11s and 1,000. Time to go at 5:15, the 0 to 58. My numbers here are 1, 2 and 3. Debating on top, number 1 for Ella Clark, Jared Todd aboard. Finished second last time out behind Tricky Mickey. Looked a winning chance, maybe 100 metres out, and Tricky Mickey was just too strong over the concluding stages. But fought on well. Hardly ever goes a bad race debating, but doesn't win out of turns. Had 7 seconds and 2/3. And just the 2 wins, but gets an opportunity here, and a good opportunity, I think, to make it another win on the board. So 1 on top to beat 2, Rhesus, resuming from a spell, hasn't raced since the 20th of July, but raced pretty well that last campaign in 3-year-old company, ran 3rd. In the Guineas did Rhesus behind He's Maverick, and he was 6th in the Derby behind Massatora. He'll obviously appreciate a longer trip than this 1,000, but Raymond Viger aboard for Phil Cole. He could sprint well fresh. And in for third, number 3, Hatchie Man, was a winner 2 starts back for the Dyer team. Hannah LeBlanc rides here and only has to reproduce these last couple of runs, a win and a 3rd, and he'll be in the party as well. Numbers in the last are 1, 2 and 3. Best bet on the day, race 4, number 4, Mr. Have a Chat. I know he's drawn the outside gate, but he's got plenty of pace. I think he'll come across and sit maybe 1 out, 1 back, or he might even sit outside the leader, and he's pretty tough. And he's been racing well. So race 4, number 4, my best, Mr. Have a Chat. Well, the best roughies in the first, race 1, number 3, Bryce. Race 1, number 3, Bryce, my best roughie. And he probably won't be that rough, given he's trained by Phil Cole. And who's on board? I think it might be Wanderson de Villa. We'll just check that for you. Yes, it is Wanderson de Villa. So I actually said race 1, number 3. It's actually race 2, number 3. So I'll just get that right. Race 2, number 3, Fletch. Bryce is the best roughie. That wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We'll be back again in advance of our next meeting here at Fanny Bay, which is the first of our Friday meetings. We have 7 Friday meetings through the months of November through till April. This is the first of them, and its date is the 29th of November. So we'll see you then. Until then, good luck and good punting.